Wednesday the 11th of April. I try to take all my main cuttings, and it's something I've sort of learnt a little bit from last year, more from the second week and third week of April. It gives me a controllable plant. So I haven't taken any cuttings now for 2 weeks, which means that I can clear the propagating benches as far as rooted cuttings. Those I leave in the trays so I can reroot them if I need to. And there's obviously quite a hedge in the propagator of tubers ready to take. That tray I've just taken a Valentine. And on the top shelf I've got some other plants there where I feel I might need some additional stock, and I've just got some plants with the tops taken out. There's one of Valentine. You can see the tops being taken out, and there'll be 4 cuttings there to take quite comfortably in a week's time. So those to stay in there. Next week will be the last batch, if I can help it. If I'm really short, then I'll just keep on going. But you can see there's quite a hedge there. These plants around here and around the greenhouse are all ones that were rooted beforehand. There's some candy at the back there. Challengers, I'll probably grow from those challengers and have a big plant rather than a small one. And those will all generally have the tops taken out and re-rooted, so that they're being rooted at the same time, as well as the cuttings from the tubers and any cuttings I've taken previously. That was the last batch of cuttings, which I'm either re-rooting those or leaving them to be potted if it's a slightly later variety. And I've already filled all 3 propagators with trays. These are 72 cells in a tray, and there's 3.5 trays in a propagator. So I've got about 11 trays filled. That's going to give me somewhere around about 800 cuttings on this take if I can fill them up. And there's the first tray there taken, 72 Kenora Valentine, and I shall take another batch next week just to give me some float, looking to plant maybe up to 70 of the Valentine. And you can see the sort of condition the tubers are in, ready for taking, a bit hedge-like, and that's just one tuber there, and more there ready to take, that one being Ruskin Myra. The cuttings that have been rooting over the last couple of weeks, so these have rooted and have got roots on them. I shall be taking the tops out of those where I need to add to the numbers. If they're young plants, then I shall probably just pop them up and put them outside in a cold frame and just grow them slow so that they come together. So second week of April, this is the time I'm trying to take these main cuttings, the ones I intend to plant out, and that will give me then 2 weeks to root to the end of 2 and a bit weeks to root really to the end of April. 2 weeks in a 3-inch pot, being the first 2 weeks of May, and then I shall pot them into a 5-inch pot, and that will take me to planting without them hardening up in the pot. You can see just about outside, most of the plot's dug. There's a bit more to do, but that'll have to wait. The cuttings need to get taken first. Been playing with potting mixtures, and I've been getting a little bit of damping off, and I think it's probably due to heat in the propagators, just too high. We've had some very hot weather recently. It's been raining now and it's cooled down. But the other thing I've tried is, this is the Expand and Grow coir compost that I've just mixed with about 1/4 part perlite, and I've just been using that for rooting, and I've found it's been holding the moisture better without being too damp. I've certainly not had to re-water in the 2 weeks in the propagators, and I've actually, in my mind, been getting a stronger rooting or roots on the cutting. So it's worth a try. I know other people, I know Dave Spencer uses coir as a rooting medium. I've tried it, and I think it's certainly worth a go. They don't also, because of the controlled fertiliser in there, they don't seem to bolt away once they're rooted, so it gives you a little bit more grace. And I just mix it in the wheelbarrow and fill the trays from there, and then give them a watering in. That's the main batch taken. It's about just over the 800. I tend to write down what I've taken in any batches for the main batch, so I know if I need to take a few more next week when there'll be a bit more available from the tubers. Plants that I've topped out, like this candy, I'll keep those and they've become pot tubers, and certainly some spare stock. If I really need to, I can take this down to the shoot that's there and make that into a plant if I'm short. You can see the propagators are now full. I've just given them a mist. Hopefully they're all going to root. It's a bit of a chance this time of year with the weather, and they're giving quite a warm day today, so what I shall do is put the lids on, give a bit more ventilation than what the vents can give by a gap in the middle. The greenhouse door would be open, and just put Rocaline over the top to protect it from the sun, and as you can see, that's all 4 propagators then covered in Rocaline. I want to keep the humidity up but not too high, and the temperature not too high. You can see I've still got tubers in the on the sand bed where I generally keep the cover down to keep it hot, pushing the cuttings through, but some where I've took more than enough, the tubers have gone outside and they'll suffer any fate that comes to them. And in here we've got the tray of Valentine, and in another 4 or 5 days there'll be another batch of cuttings to take from those. The other things we've got in here are the stock plants where the varieties I'm going to be short, like this. I've had to top out, there's some breaks coming from them, and again in about another 5 or 6 days, hopefully by Wednesday next week, I'll be able to take another batch of cuttings from those. I've still got the fan blowing cool air around to stop them damping off under here, but other than that, they've probably got 1 more week up in here. I'll take a further batch of cuttings, and that'll be about it from the propagating side. It's just then a case of getting them rooted and potting them into their 3-inch pots.